I guess while we at it, we might as well cover a neo-Nazi media influencer slash somebody that covers and reviews stuff. Marvel Spider-Man goes full Latino and also dumps police mission to please Polygon. What the fuck could you possibly? What is he talking about? This dude clearly has not played through the game or watched any walkthroughs or anything. Because when I looked at it, the game was not really focused on Latino culture as much as Spider-Man Miles Morales. And Spider-Man Miles Morales is about a black Latino kid. So of course there's going to be a lot of crossing over in there. But like, I don't know, bro. What the fuck could he be talking about? Because the game literally, it was not. I feel like Marvel Spider-Man 2, though it had political subjects, it was not, quote unquote pandering to Latino people. Whatever. Let's see.
Spider-Man 2 has officially released for the PlayStation 5.
So we already see from this headline it's selling really fast right now. So this dude cannot say that nobody's buying it because people don't like it. I don't want to fucking hear that argument. Don't say it.
Did pretty good. Sold 2.5 million copies in the first 24 hours, and I'm sure nobody is shocked by that. I'm sure it will sell very well all holiday season. Leading up to Christmas, it's going to be a big seller. And I'm not surprised. I don't think anybody is surprised. Very well reviewed. 91 Universal score over on.
Get it right, jackass.
And doing pretty well based on
Okay.
user ratings. It's got an 8.8. I don't think that's anything to complain about for Sony. Pretty sure they're very happy with that review. I had some concerns with it. There's a couple things that I don't.
Before you get started, I'm covering this video, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the normal general public that are not fascist, that are not racist as fuck, that are not homophobic or get angry every time they see a woman on a video game, do not give a fuck. Those are your concerns, dude. You have your own unpopular opinions, and nobody cares about them because, like most of your opinions, are just run by bigotry, dude. So nobody gives a fuck about you complaining about, oh, the black Spider-Man was in this one, so I had issues with it. That, like, nobody cares, dude. Keep that shit to yourself. Like, literally nobody else is going to agree with anything that you have to say.
Like about it. One, it definitely took woke criticism to heart. What do I mean by that? Well, the first game had a lot of side missions with police. There were a lot of police missions in that game. You had to fix their communication towers. That was so that you could get a lay of the land. Your map would get filled in when you did that. A lot of open world games do this. You just had to go, like for example in Far Cry, some of those have you go to towers, like radio towers or just towers in general, and you fix it and you can see the map.
Man, I thought I had a bad microphone.
Spider-Man 1 was no different. Had a lot of missions where police showed up. Miles' dad is a police officer that you establish a relationship with before he dies. A lot of stuff like that. And a lot of...
See, look, guys, they have a black police officer. Haha, I can't be racist.
These outlets lost their minds over this. Called it propaganda.
Because a lot of time it is, and I see why Xander Hall and the rest of the guys speed his videos up when they cover them, because this dude talks extremely slow for no fucking reason. But yes, it can be viewed as propaganda when you are constantly in your video game or your movies and other pieces of media putting the police in positions where they're saving and helping people and not showing the dark side of policing. Because it puts forward, an idea that police officers are these clean, well-to-do people when most of society, especially after 2020, know that that's not true.
Aware of the social situations of the world.
Should have been known, but okay.
Police shouldn't be glorified. Well, they listened to that and pretty much switched out police for firefighters.
What's wrong with that? They still got a group of people that are representative of being very heroic, very necessary. Because like you got to keep in mind, dude. I want to say something too. Is that if we're gonna talk about like we're gonna compare them, I almost forget to speed up the video. If we're gonna compare police to firefighters, a firefighter is way more likely to die or have some shit fall on them or get burnt alive than a cop is to get shot or whatever the fuck you're saying. When they go into a situation where it's with some like crazy like black crackhead or whatever the fuck you be thinking that police go into all the time. I don't know. But anyways, firefighters are far more likely to get injured or hurt on the job or die than police officers are. I would Google it right now, but this dude's videos and him as a person is a waste of space and a waste of energy. So I ain't gonna bother opening a second tab for him.
I'd say probably not that big of a deal, right? I guess, but it's just the fact that they listened to the gamer or Polygon. That's just not who you listen to for criticism. Fireman isn't a cop anymore.
Who they listen to? You?
He's a firefighter. Small thing. But that's the problem with a lot of the shit in this game.
What's wrong with firefighters being portrayed as heroes? Because you gotta defend that statement. You can't just say that and then like keep going forward. I want to know why is it a bad thing that firefighters are portrayed as heroes? Firefighters do save people. Firefighters do go into dangerous situations. Firefighters are more likely to get injured or killed on the job than a cop is. So what's wrong with firefighters being portrayed as heroes?
Because there's a lot of little small things in here that are just annoying or just kind of put in there for an ESG purpose, like this mini game that if you criticize, you will get hit up and devoured by pronoun police.
Not pronoun police, by people that are smarter than you.
People will be complaining about this mission because it just makes no sense and it's boring. I mean, you thought doing Splinter Cell missions as MJ were bad? This is worse. So one of the missions...
Yeah, gotta throw that little propaganda in there to see they make you play as a woman. Ha ha! He can't help himself, bro.
Miles' deaf girlfriend.
I don't understand how people even watch this shit, bro. Like, you really think this is an honest review or like, critique of society or media? This doesn't sound like bullshit to you when you listen to this guy just whine about... And it's like, it's coded whining, but, whining nonetheless of a minority being in media. Like, this shit doesn't get tiresome. It's not see-through to you. I don't understand how it isn't, dude. It's infuriating, like, listening through this dumb shit.
You get to play as her, and you get to go around and spray paint buildings. And that also comes with muffled audio, so that you can get the experience of being deaf. Well, this is an actual scene from the game.
Damn, this dude is really up here trying to dunk on, like, disabled people that can't fucking hear, bro. You're a terrible piece of shit. Does that make you feel good that you can just, like, dunk on, like, disabled people? Like, nobody fucking cares or has an issue with this, dude. Nobody cares. It's a reason why the overall gameplay itself, because, like, most people don't focus on little shit like this. Most people go around and actually, like, play as Spider-Man. Nobody cares about these little side missions of playing as this young girl. But you're like zooming in on it. Nobody gives a fuck. You should, not only represent and care about the experiences of deaf people, but in the grand scheme of Spider-Man 2, this shit doesn't matter.
So going around damaging property, spray painting it, a mission.
You also know that in different cities and stuff like that, for instance, here in Detroit, there are certain legal areas where they invite artists to come spray paint on the side of certain abandoned buildings or underpasses and stuff like that. As long as it's not gang iconography, as long as you can sometimes even get a permit, they allow it. There are several places in this city where there's murals and things like that have been spray painted and painted over, and it wasn't illegal. So keep that in mind, that every single time somebody spray paints on a wall, it's not them damaging property. A lot of cities actually allow spray painting in certain areas because it's viewed as beautifying the city, and it's viewed as art, as street art. So yeah, go outside sometimes, man. I don't know.
This was one of the worst part of the games that I've experienced yet. Awful mission.
Why? Why is it so bad to you? You're not even doing anything, dude. You're just playing as this. Like, you're really spending like, what has it been, like 3 to 5 minutes mad because you playing as a deaf girl, bro? God damn, bro. Talk about having like no priorities in life or nothing else better to worry about. I went into this thinking that this was going to be boring, because that's how these fucking channels do it. I'm starting to notice, because we come into the video with a complete normal view of the game, looking at the reviews and shit. And then towards the middle and end of the video, it's just like bigotry, 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 bigotry. Jesus, dude. Nobody cares, dude. How many more minutes are you going to talk about this?
Pulls you out. And it's not just Miles stuff. Some of Peter's shit sucks as well. I'm like 10 or so hours into the game. So maybe it's all good. I don't know. But little things like this.
I don't think he played it at all. I think that a lot of stuff like this get passed around by far right forums and shit like that. Like they play video games regardless of what it is, and they find like the mission or something like that that involves a person of color or a handicapped person or a woman, and then it gets passed around, and then these assholes make videos about it. This dude's clearly drunk as fuck in his video or high or something like that, talking extremely slow, slurred fucking speech. So I really doubt that he played this game or he cares to remember anything about this game. Because if you actually played through that game, literally that might be the game of the year, one of the best games I've ever seen. You know, and I've played, like I touched on and stuff like that. There is no way that this little like thing you playing as this young girl, you know, can really ruin it for you.
For sure, an ESG mission.
Cause you spend most of the game like actually fighting, like cannon fodder and fighting bosses and stuff. You don't spend the entire fucking game playing as this little girl. He's saying it like it's like 8 hours of you playing as her, when it's only just like a few minutes at the most.
Because of what you do. You literally go around spray painting as a deaf woman, and they mute the audio so that you get the experience of being deaf. I'm sure some people are going to leave comments and saying, I don't care. And that's fine. I'm just pointing out little gripes I have with this game. Like them.
I don't care. Nobody cares, dude. You're only pointing out these gripes because you're trying to push. Because it's like a trifecta of bigotry here. Because we have bigotry against, of course, she's a black woman, or Latino woman, however you want to put it. Black skin Latino woman. So I guess you kind of get 4. But you get racism, you hate people with disabilities, and you get a little bit of misogyny too. So that's the only reason why you're talking about this shit, is to promote. You're fueling hatred to your fucking audience of followers. That's what's happening.
Bending the knee and pretty much removing all interaction with police in this game. Spider-Man is a crime fighter. He works with police quite a bit, just like Batman. Not as much as Batman, but he helps them out here and there in the comic books quite a bit. I don't know if that's changed. Probably has, considering modern woke Marvel, but it's just little things that have bothered me. And now overall, I'm still enjoying the game. I don't want to put that out there.
I would love to one day get one of these people in like a Discord call or something like that, because I really one day want to do a debate with these motherfuckers that claim that superhero media, especially, and we can keep it on superhero media, or like I said, because we can talk about anime and shit too. But they say that science fiction superhero media is all of a suddenly getting woke, when I happen to say in these fucking videos that superhero media has never agreed with the political predilections of conservative people and has always criticized the way that we organize society. The fact that there's women, people of color, and bigots sometimes getting their ass whooped in these comic books and movies is not new.
This game, because I don't hate it, but it's just not, as, in my opinion, so far, not as good as the first one.
Really?
That's my opinion, and it's not something that you have to agree with. But
don't stick a siren up your ass. Like, I guess he's right. Like, people don't care.
One thing that is funny that I think we can all laugh at is the Marvel devs confusing the Cuban and Puerto Rican flags, which is very, very funny to me, because they're trying to, put it in here because of Miles being half Puerto Rican and his mother. We'll put this flag up in here, and they got it wrong. And they've been getting roasted for it online. Multiple fans have noticed in the recent...
It's a small... If this is an actual mistake, it's a small mistake in a grand scheme of things. It seems to me, for the most part, it might not be the... Let me see. The right flag is Cuba. Yes, I'm sure that there's Cuba. No, right flag. Left flag's Puerto Rico. Well, if that's true, which I don't... Let me see if this is actually true, bro. I don't believe that... that's something... I don't believe that they mixed up something that you can get in a simple Google search. Let me see if they fucked that up. What the fuck? No. Puerto Rico flag. They did. They fucked up there. But I suppose in the grand scheme of things with the game, it really doesn't matter anyway. And they can also always patch it.
Marvel Spider-Man 2 video game that the Cuban flag was hanging outside of Miles' or else it's apart.
And plus, to this guy, it wouldn't matter anyway. He's only focusing on this shit, this small detail that very few people notice. And it's like some honest actors might have noticed that they fucked up, but the only reason why he's focusing on it because he's racist and doesn't like Cuban or Puerto Rican people. And he's just like zooming in on like some haha. They claim to care about these minorities, but they got the flag wrong. Who's racist now?
The problem, his family's Puerto Rican. In the defense, they look similar, but you would think that's something you would want to get right.
Not necessarily.
You would probably want to get that right. I'm surprised they're not getting eaten up over this. There's another problem, too.
Because nobody care.
With this game, especially if you play it, if you play this game in Spanish, right? It uses gender-neutral Spanish to be inclusive. Now, in case you don't know, Spanish is a gendered language. They have...
Are you playing it in Spanish? Because you seem like one of those racist people that'll say, hey, we speak English. This is America. So, like, you're not playing it in Spanish. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares, dude.
Multiple words for every. A male and a female version of just about everything.
Nobody cares.
It's impossible to really make that language.
No, it's not impossible. Because I'm sure the words they and them and saying stuff like that person over there, you know, you can say things like that in Spanish. I'm sure all the stuff that I just named right there also exists in Spanish and every other language. You don't always have to use he, him pronouns just regardless of what language you're speaking. Plus, colloquially, I believe like languages like English, Spanish, and French are not very similar in a way that they're like directly the same. Like if you know one, you can learn another. But English and Spanish especially are kind of similar. That's why Spanish classes are often taught in grade school. And, you know, and I'm sure that, you know, then English kind of works off Spanish in a lot of ways too. But my point being is just that I'm sure in Spanish that you can use gender neutral pronouns in ways of like addressing people without saying he, him, she, or her.
Work as gender neutral. A real quick way to explain this is they take Latinx and crank that shit up to 10. Social media users learned the alleged Spanish version of Marvel's Spider-Man 2 alters the Spanish language to be inclusive and to the point of being grammatically incorrect. The Twitter user shared a video of the alleged Spanish version of the game and started to break down why it makes no sense. This is from Learning the Law.
Nobody cares.
Here is something interesting for Latinos. Spider-Man 2 has inclusive language. For those English speakers, this means it's spreading Latinx all over the game. Now you can predict what NPC has fatherless behavior. Spanish is a gendered language, meaning certain words are said differently depending on the gender of the person being spoken about. An example for non-Spanish users would be this word that I'm not going to try to read, referring to a female entomologist.
But this dude is literally not playing it in Spanish. This is a waste of time. You're not playing in Spanish, so maybe you should just like shut the fuck up and keep playing it on English. Nobody cares, dude.
I think that they dabbled with it a little bit. The game is a little bit woke. Is it so woke that it ruins the game experience? No, because the gameplay is top notch in it. The gameplay is actually
shut the fuck up. Can't say that.
Better than the first one. I just would argue the story was better in the first one compared to this one.
Because it had cops?
This one feels a little bloated because they have to jam stories from Miles and Peter in here. You know, I actually enjoyed the second Spider-Man.
I disagree with this. I think they blend the stories quite seamlessly. I feel like this is another backhanded way of saying that he doesn't like how the stories were told because Miles Morales is black.
The Miles one, very short DLC game, but you know, I would actually be okay with him giving Peter and Miles games. Like it's just more Spider-Man gameplay. They jam them both in here, and it makes the story kind of fall apart in some spots, in my opinion. But
no, it doesn't. Because especially as we come up towards the end of the game, a lot of the things that you do and a lot of the achievements that you wind up getting, you literally cannot do certain stuff if Miles was not in this game.
I can't give it a proper review.
So they make it so that, you know, the character is his existence and his presence in this game's universe is necessary for Spider-Man Peter Parker to be able to complete and do the things that he needs to do, and their storylines work off of one another.
I haven't finished it yet, and it'll probably be a long time till I do, but I like the first one better so far. But I don't hate this game, but it definitely was adding some woke stuff in here.
Like
this,
what?
For example, it's a big one. I really wonder how Spanish people feel about this. People that speak Spanish, how do you feel about this?
They don't care. Like I'm 100% sure they don't. Like you're only making something of this because number one, you're like transphobic and you're trying to backhandedly push transphobia into this review of a fucking Spider-Man game. And two, you also hate Hispanic people. I'm 100% sure that you do. And it's just like you're backhandedly trying to weaponize them to say that, see, this is why you don't try to be inclusive because sometimes you get things wrong.
Because a lot of Hispanics don't like this.
Oh my god.
I've talked about this before.
Like who?
It is not cool with them usually.
Like who? What Hispanic people do you know? Like people like this get on my motherfucking nerves, bro, because they always saying shit like that. For example, when they be like, a lot of black people are socially conservative. It's like, dude, you don't even fucking know any black people. You don't know the Latino or Hispanic people, and the ones that you do know are probably white passing as fuck, or they could be conservative dipshits like you. But I'm sure the majority of the Latino community does not care about the Spanish being wrong here and there. I'm sure kids in South America are going to love this game as much as we do up here. Or even the Hispanic kids that live amongst us in our cities and towns now. And of course adults too that play it like myself. Nobody cares, dude. Like literally.
So I'm wondering how they feel overall about this maneuver here. I think it's a strange one. Why don't you just speak Spanish regularly? But they don't want to do regular Spanish. They want to do this.
And then y'all have to dig that shit up. Nobody noticed it. Like I'm sure this niche gamer, bro. Well, that's the last thing I'm doing. I'm done listening to this video. This shit is really stupid. And again, I don't understand why people listen to these motherfuckers, bro. Like you actually take the things that they say as face value. Let me see something, bro. Niche gamer. Let me see something. Because, let's see. I'm trying to see, like, Be lucky, dude. Because, like I said, because this gamer, I don't know. Let me see who this guy is, bro. Cause this don't feel right. Like this website just doesn't feel right to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think he's important enough to have like a Wikipedia article, but I'm 100% sure this guy's a fascist. Can't probably prove it right now, but I don't trust this guy. Point being, I'm gonna stretch this video. I want to know who the fuck this guy is, and like some of the stuff that he posts, because he doesn't seem like a good guy. If you ask me, that to fund a website like this. Let me see something. Okay, just checking in there, because like I said, might not be able to prove it now, but I will even make a second video proving that this game company. Oh well, that's all I need to see in this video. This dude is just talking slow, drunk, complaining about minorities being in video games. If you feel that's an honest argument to get on board his movement and his ideals, you need to do some self introspection. That's enough.